I can remember when it was somewhere around then when we had there was, in the legislature, there was a move to change the town's name from East Lyme to Niantic, because if you said you were from East Lyme, people say, well, where the heck is that? I never heard of that. And they said, well, I said Niantic. And oh, I know that. I know Niantic. Yeah, that's a great little town.
As you walk down Main Street, it was so full of trees that you were shaded everywhere you walked in the summer. Even though the stores back in the 40s didn't have air conditioning, you were really cool walking down the streets because of all the beautiful trees.
As a child, when we were growing up in town, it was an easy walk. We would always walk over McCook's and along the railroad tracks to our parents' warnings, so be careful. But a lot of kids from Crescent Beach would always walk down the tracks, and we'd cut into Main Street down where the tracks go into the mill. And downtown Niantic in those days was just a terrific place. It was a safe place. Everybody knew everybody. I would go down to Sam Barrett had a barbershop where the laundromat is now. And my father would give me, I think maybe it was 15 cents to go down and get my hair cut. Lo and behold, if I didn't, we would never have hair like the kids have today. It was just impossible. We'd come back with a butch, and if you didn't do a good enough job, they'd send you back down to get the rest of your haircut. Pete Mitchell's grocery store was where right down by the grill right now in that empty parking lot. And I can remember that was the best place in the world to get grinders. Mr. Mitchell, Pete, was a terror of all the young kids. He would he would be terrifying. But you could sneak in there, get yourself a nice grinder, and go across the street and eat it right on Main Street on the little benches. Rogers used to have a little soda shop where you could come in, and I remember, going back there, looking at the comic books, never buying them, just looking at them, and Mr. Rogers would get upset with us kids. You're going to buy those things, or you're just going to leave them here? And it was all in good fun.
I grew up here in town during the last stages of the Great Depression and World War II. After the war, a lot of changes took place that affected the downtown area of Niantic. A great many cars, the urban-suburban sprawl, and the decentralization generally of services. For instance, when I grew up, we had one school in the southern part of town that serviced all 8 grades, right up where the Niantic Center School is now, and a great many of the students either walked to school or rode their bikes to school. The trains used to stop twice a day during the week where you could go to New York.
Pennsylvania Avenue, gosh, I remember Pennsylvania Avenue. They had beautiful Victorian homes, and now it's all shopping centers. But it was beautiful, green grass, flowers. It was a delight to go down the street on my skates, on my bicycle. In the summertime, there'd be a lot of people there selling produce with little carts on the side of the road. It gave the town a lot of character, and it made you feel comfortable.
In those days, in the 50s, I think the population was maybe 3,000 to 5,000, go to 10,000 in the summer. We're at over 18,000 people now. And the reason is nobody ever leaves East Lyme. Half of the people that went to Center School are still here. They still raise their families here. We still see them on the street. Dr. Cram was the only doctor in town. He would make house calls, and it was not unusual at all to see his car with some medication going into a house to counsel the people and make them feel comfortable.
I came to this town in 1950. I was at the Coast Guard Academy, and my service time came up, so we decided we had to decide where to live. So my wife and I traveled up and down Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, looking for a place we'd like to spend the rest of our lives. And as we compared one town to the other, we kept coming back to Niantic to see why we weren't staying right in Niantic where we were in the first place. So after my wife came up with the expression, a little theater in this town, it's got a couple shops downtown, it's just a quaint little place. She liked it, and I thought, if she's going to be happy living there, I'll be happy working there. That's how we decided to come to Niantic, the quaint little town by the ocean. I can remember back in those days, I was paid off in chickens or a loaf of bread, or somebody made a tapioca pudding, which I liked. That was my pay. Doctors don't make house calls anymore, as you all know. So that's something that's changed from the past that I wish there was a way of getting that back in, because there's something lost, both to the families and to the doctor himself, for not being able to make a house call.
So in those days, Main Street was just like that show, Anytown USA or Our Town USA. It really was very close to that.
We've lost so much of the services that we had that you've heard about, that seem to be irrecoverable.
The boardwalk, I think, in my opinion, is going to be one of the main catalysts to bring Main Street back. I worked in Hartford a lot, and I know people come down here just to look at the water. And there's really no opportunity to look at it. The beaches up until recently had been, private, or they're hard to get to. There's no parking. That boardwalk is a mile of open ocean that you can sit and walk and enjoy it and chat and meet people and relax. People are going to come down to see that.
What needed to be done, this is retrospectively, what needed to be done is what you're doing now before everything that was there, or most everything that was there, is gone, that would allow us to create an Essex. I don't know how they managed to, they do have some commercial ventures in there, but somehow or other they were able to stop or control the way things developed such that they could maintain the Essex character.
And if we have the interest of the population to build around that, to build to fill up the storefronts, to try some innovative things, innovative businesses, and reestablish some restaurants and some places to get snacks, some places to shop, some places to get clothes.
For a common goal, that common goal being to do, just thinking out loud now, a major facelift. That's a bad word. A major recovery. A major recovery of what the town was like, to the point where you retrieved that seaside, that quaint Main Street character of a seaside town.